This video is brought to you by the lovely folks over at Spacer's Choice.
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Gideon, and yes, I normally don't do videos quite like this one, as in doing a video on a game that just came out, as opposed to doing it right before, but today, I just finished Obsidian's latest RPG, The Outer Worlds, and this is a game I have been dying to cover more of, but I wanted to finish the game first all the way through, before I did any sort of video. So this video isn't really a review or anything like that, so don't worry, I'm not going to give you a review score at the very end, but mainly this video is going to be my thoughts on the game overall. I'll try to avoid things like spoilers, but just in case I say something a wee bit spoilery, take this as a potential spoiler warning. The Outer Worlds. Yes, when playing this game for the first time, you can feel that it's something special. The gameplay, the dialogue, the characters, and just the overall world, or worlds, sorry, they all just have so much personality to them. So when I loaded it up for the first time and saw what kind of character I could become, I instantly went for a witty, intelligent dickhead, who did noble things from time to time, but ultimately, if you got on his bad side, you died. Since I decided that I was going to be more of a talker rather than a fighter, all my points went into speech, and I ended up passing nearly every dialogue skill check in the game because of that. Obsidian did an excellent job on the writing side of the Outer Worlds, by the way. It's one of the first games where the dialogue was really relatable, if you want to say that, and sometimes a choice that comes up is exactly what I said in my head before the choices appear, you know. Now what makes the dialogue way more engaging is when you have companions tagging along with you as they chip in and actually add more to the conversation. It's not like any other games where an NPC says something in the background and your companion just replies with a witty comment, and then the NPC you're talking to is just completely oblivious to their fucking existence. No, sometimes companions such as Felix or Parvati actually engage in the conversation by actually chatting to the NPC. There's times where it's I initiate the conversation, but then, what was it, the next few sentences, Parvati and then this cunt are just going back and forth, and I'm just standing here hello? I initiated this, not you. I think the game has a ton of replayability on that front alone, because I know there will be conversations that will be totally changed depending on what companion you have in your company, or if you don't have a high enough skill to pass a speech check. Since we are on companions, let's talk about that for a wee moment, because it is a massive part of the game. For me, companions are a must, absolute fucking must when playing. Getting these guys are completely up to you. You can go through the game without having to deal with any companions whatsoever, but honestly they are the more memorable parts of the game for me. Alright Felix, tell me why I should hire you. Yeah,
give me a shot. Alright, hang on. I put together a little speech just in case you asked. Hey there, I'm Felix Millstone. I have prepared a list of reasons why I believe you should hire me to join the crew of your ship and/or outlaw gang. Firstly, I am highly personable, and I get along well with anyone who is not of the jackass persuasion.
I found myself actually bonding with characters like Felix, Parvati and Vicar Max, and I actually never really got sick of them. At one point I was actually quite sad that I could only bring two along in each journey. They also have their own quest lines, which are also great, by the way. One I quite enjoyed is Parvati's one, where she became an emotional mess while trying to ask out this lassie. Going back to the whole relatable sort of thing, that first quest with Parvati made me smile and laugh so much because it reminded me so much of a time where me and my mate actually was, I think it was last year or the year before, where we went to the pub and we started talking about him, and he started talking to me about how he wanted to get with a lassie, and I was like, go, ask her out, fucking do it, hurry up. And this quest was basically that. I was playing a character who was doing that for Parvati, and I just found it so fascinating, so just funny. It's so cool as well, because even when I was talking to Parvati about this, and when she was saying, oh yeah, I've been texting this lassie, I'm getting all nervous and shit, and I said at the back of my head, moan down to the pub, moan, let's get a wee couple of pints and talk about it. And then, what does she say right after? Well, she says, hey, next time we're on the Groundbreaker, let's go to the pub. And I'm like, abso-fucking-lutely, I'm glad we're on the bloody same mindset here. But what I find quite hilarious and quite strange is that the poster child of the Outer Worlds, Ellie, she was in the cover art, she was in the first trailer, and she was not a big presence in my playthrough whatsoever. Like with Ellie, I recruited her and everything, and then she chatted to me about certain things, and then that relationship just never developed at all, which is entirely on me. Like, that was entirely my choice, that me and Ellie didn't really bond. She was just on the ship. I was like, do you know what? You don't really seem that interesting to me, so I'm just going to leave you there. I've bonded so much with Felix and Parvati that I really wanted to stick with these two. I might lift you out at some point, but for now, stay on the ship. What did happen, however, is when I began our questline and we met her parents. Yes, and I may have murdered them, and to be fair, they were cunts. When Ellie discovered this, she was not happy whatsoever. She was not happy with me at all, but I never saw her for the rest of the game. So I find that so hilarious. I find that so funny how this poster child of the game is literally like a small little side character in my story. It's brilliant. Play with companions, at least on your first playthrough. Afterwards you can not play with companions if you want to, but for your first playthrough, please play with companions. They add so much more to the fucking experience, it's incredible. The worlds of Halcyon are quite something. I really did enjoy exploring Terra 2 and Monarch, but they weren't that amazing, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, Edgewater, Stellar Bay, cool places to roam around and explore, but I feel like they lacked something. I feel as though they should have been more interactive. They should have had more activities going on in each town to make them that bit more immersive. Like, even all the NPCs, they didn't really walk around that much, they didn't really have a routine or anything, they were more stationary, so the town sort of didn't really feel alive to me at times. My favourite location so far has to be the Groundbreaker though. The Groundbreaker is brilliant. Like, see, the second you get on there, you talk to people, you get in, and then I'm like, okay, this just seems like a standard ship, and then you open like the shuttered door, and there you are. It's like, you see this little strip of shops for the first time, and it reminded me so much of like a more corporate and branded Rivet City marketplace. A good thing to point out, which I should have done at the start of the video, is that this game isn't actually really New Vegas 2, like you probably may have expected. The Outer Worlds isn't a massive open world space quite like New Vegas and Fallout where you can go wherever you want. You can't exactly look at a mountain and be like, hey, I'm going to climb that. You can't do that in this game. The game is broken down into sections much like Borderlands, except rather than like going through gates to go to the next area, instead of that you get there by returning to your ship and then selecting a new landing destination. So all these areas are connected through your space map instead of you going through a gate in the world. Monarch is one of those locations that feel like the most open worlds than others. It is the largest open area where you can freely walk around, explore, discover locations in towns like Fallbrook, Amber Heights, and the ruins of other older settlements as well. It was fun to roam around Monarch, but personally I was interested to explore more of Terra 2 than Monarch, because Monarch was that sort of dull, orangey sort of place, you know? It was interesting to be there. I didn't want to be there for very long though. The story of the Outer Worlds was an interesting one as well, but I think it could have done a little bit better at showing off the board as like an antagonistic faction. When doing the main questline, I kept asking myself, do I really care about what the board is doing? There was times where I was like, why am I fighting these people? Like, I feel as though the stakes weren't really fully revealed until the final, or like, I think it was literally like the 2 quests before the final conclusion is where the stakes were actually at, you know? Stuff that should have been told way earlier in the game, so I had that initial drive to take them down, because I feel like people were just sort of complaining about the board, like they were complaining about their managers at work. That's how I felt about the board. It's just everyone having their own perspective, and I didn't really get to see too much of the board treating people like fucking garbage, you know? I know the main stakes were save the colonists, but throughout the game, I feel as though that the problem just could wait. It wasn't necessarily urgent. In my playthrough, I was in neutral terms with the board throughout most of the fucking game until you had to kill them, and even had a positive reputation with Spacer's Choice and Annie Cleo's. Don't get me wrong, I still thought this game was absolutely fantastic, but I think I enjoyed more of the side quest than the main quest, which is funny to say because a lot of the side stuff is actually intertwined with the main quest. Do you know what, actually? I think the reason why I wasn't really into the main quest as much is because every time I entered a new area, I was like, do you know what? I'm going to go and get immersed in the world, and I'm just going to go around, talk to everyone, and get as many side quests as possible and do them before leaving this area. So like the main quest was the last thing I did in that area. Like again, I wanted to spend more time with characters like Phineas Wells, as he is such a big part of the plot, but you only really talk to him now and again, and you don't really explore too much of his backstory until later on in the game. Which I suppose this is sort of to give us that incentive to turn him over to the board, as we are reminded, hey, that's a thing, time and time again. Literally, I think there was a good 5 times throughout the story where people just walked up to me and were like, hey, Phineas Wells, turn him in. I know you know where he is. Come on, we'll give you money. that was a thing. Again, I'm just venting my thoughts after my first initial playthrough, so I think my thoughts are definitely going to change on my subsequent playthroughs. Playing this has been such a delightful experience and such a blast from the past, because we never get games with a style such as this anymore. An RPG with a voiceless protagonist, which really helped the dialogue in this game, by the way. Just saying, brilliant dialogue options, choice and consequences, and overall just interesting universe, you know? Just, you can walk around, you can explore, you can just, you're free to do as you like. It's like, I miss games like that. What this game is missing, and I'm hoping they add it in the future, is a third person option. We can customise our characters and look at them in the menu or when we go AFK, but I feel as though that having that option just makes sense. Another thing that needs to be expanded upon is the enemies, because they are, at least the human ones, all mostly the same. Like, I kinda get bored just fighting the standard marauder or outlaw who wear all the same fucking outfits and are placed every 2 seconds on the map. The monsters are pretty cool though, but like, I would love, again, more variety, and same with the bots. Overall though, this game is fucking amazing. I wouldn't constantly keep comparing it to New Vegas though. Even though it does take a lot from New Vegas, The Outer Worlds is very much its own different game with a very bright future. I cannot wait to see if Obsidian are going to do DLC for the game. I really wish they do, because it would be amazing. Like, add a few more worlds in there, I don't know, add just more locations to Terra 2, it would be really cool. And also mods. I can't wait for the mods. That'll be fun. Just wait until it comes to Steam and shit. It's going to be amazing. But yeah, guys, that was my initial thoughts on The Outer Worlds. Please let me know how you enjoyed the game. Did you even play the game, or what do you think about my thoughts? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you haven't played the game, go play it. If you like earlier Fallouts, if you like RPGs in general, go play it. It's fun. It's literally a fun experience. It's 30 hours long. Go play it. Special thanks to our lovely wee patrons, KG, Devil, and TG Monster for your continued support over my Patreon. Thanks so much, I really do appreciate it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall be seeing you later. By the way, it's RPG month. Last month for me was a horror. This month, fucking definitely going to be RPGs, because there's so many RPGs coming out. There's so much RPG news. So much Fallout news. So, yeah, in terms of like Fallout mods, there's a lot of news there. But yeah, there's a fuck ton. But anyway, I'll let you get on with your day. Thanks so much for watching. I shall see you all later. Bye bye.